Alright, greetings y'all. I just worked some overtime, right? And I thought, you know, before I actually get some rest, I would like to tackle something that I thought about talking about for a long time. And this subject is voodoo, right? Voodoo in the Caribbean. Now, I can't speak for the practice of voodoo in other parts of the world, right? I understand that this tradition is timeless, right? This tradition extends into African antiquity, millennia. You can go back millennia and find traces of voodoo on the continent of Africa, right? But there have been many derivations and deviations from the original purpose of it to what we have today, right? And that's why I want to discuss the perception of voodoo in the Bahamas, in the Caribbean, um, in general, just in this region in which I reside. Now, as a child, um, as a child, I always had folklore surrounding voodoo around me, right? Practically everybody had an anecdote about it. So as a child, you know, it was intriguing, it was horrifying, but it was something that just seemed commonplace, right? I never actually saw anyone practice it, right? Nobody that I knew would ever openly say that they themselves practiced it, right? But there were always rumors about some people in the community who knew a person that knew a person that had direct contact with a person who was familiar with the practice of voodoo, right? And they pay them a small fee to exact revenge. Wait, let me not put the cart before the horse. They pay the person a small fee for whatever they might desire, right? And I really associated it with something that people use like to ward off evil, or they use it to incite evil. Um, that's how some people, they might gain the hand of somebody that they might be interested in, right? So this is the perception of it. Growing up, this is what I actually um, this was the framework of my understanding of voodoo, right? Because in the Bahamas, in particular, we didn't have a very close link with our African heritage, to the extent that many of these things were very foreign to the majority of us, right? And the form that many African culture symbols took in our region was determined by um, oftentimes a misunderstanding or misrendering of a concept um, that was handed down to us by Africans um, with more knowledge of their heritage and with more understanding of the practices and what the significance of the practices were, right? But you know, it seemed like people mainly used it for malice, right? And I'm addressing it now. Everything I'm saying is my take on it, and I'm giving it from a first-hand point of view, right? um, many people use it for malice, right? And so if they have um, jealousy for a particular person, right? If they didn't like the way their life was going, they would want to go to the old bear person, the old bear man, right? Pay him some money, take him an article of the person's belongings, I guess, and just petition for them to have some type of downfall, right? And so immediately, just based on my own nature, it was something that I couldn't practice. It was something I couldn't partake in. It was something that I didn't really want to know anything about because the type of person I am is opposed to a practice that is about malice and mischief and creating an unfair set of circumstances, whether for your good or for the downfall of a person. This is the perception of voodoo in um, my region, right? Also, some of the practices just seem a little bit morbid. I don't know if there's a special significance about death and the practice of voodoo, but a lot of this stuff is taking place in the graveyards, in the cemeteries, you know. And so, you know, that was another red flag for me. I mean, anything that has to be practiced, you know, at the cemetery just um, spoke of just like evil intent or malice. So, I mean, most people would shy away from a practice that involves taking the articles of clothing or the possessions of a person to the graveyards to entreat some forces to do the person harm. You know, this is the perception of voodoo in the Bahamas and in the Caribbean because although many people will posit that it could have been a defense mechanism that can aid our people if we are under threat, under attack, right? But you find that the majority of the people who use it, they use it for malice. They don't use it to inspire people or to change the dynamics of the poor, um, to create equality. They mainly use it so that they can get a lucky lottery number. They mainly use it so that they can um, cause their neighbor to have an argument with his wife or to cause a person to trip and fall or to grow a strange lesion somewhere like on their face, you name it. The list goes on with the types of things that people would try to do with voodoo in my region. And so what I think what this really speaks to is the effects of the disconnect. Okay, this is when people take a tradition that they did not understand because of a breakdown in communication between our population and Africans on the continent. But during this disconnect, things that would have had a sacred significance would be used for pettiness and frivolity, you know. And this reminds me of um, a presentation from Dr. Ian Strawn when he spoke about ring play and the fact that the ring play games that we know today were once African phrases, and throughout the course of time, the significance of these phrases was lost, and we started to transpose other themes into the ring plays. And so all of a sudden, the ring play was about the devil round the corner. Say, stick it in there, or we have. I don't wanna, I don't wanna misquote any of the ring plays because um, I'm not very good at it, but Many of the ring plays, we started talking about Batman and Robin, but these were actually African phrases, African songs um, that were being repeated. But due to the miseducation and the breakdown in communication throughout the years, each generation lost the significance of it to the extent now we're talking about Tweelily, you know, and things of that nature. But my people, let me know what your thoughts are about the contents of this video. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. One love.